Okay, so I've reached my halfway point. I am now in a place called Tunbridge Wells, and I'm going to do my bits and pieces that I need to do, and then I'm going to come back, get in the car, and then drive back home again, which is another 22-23 miles. So the range is on, I'm not sure, in fact the mileage is on 46 miles, so the range will be slightly more than that, I imagine about 48%. In fact, I can have a look if I press the button on the dashboard and the car fires up, comes to life. Let's have a quick check. So it says range is, oh, it doesn't say, come on, say. Power button, 46 miles remaining. And I've got 47% on the dashboard, so it's going to be a little bit tight, I think, but it really shows that you can do the miles in this car, but you have to be really, really careful. It's not even like owning, you know, a small petrol car. It really isn't. Around town, it's nippy, it's fast, it's great, no gripes at all, and it's got all the facilities of a much bigger, more expensive vehicle. But the battery isn't very big, and I'm now finding that out. So 46 miles should be plenty, but it's a town car, so at 70 miles an hour, even with cruise control on, so it's judging its own speed, I'm not accelerating and braking like you normally would with your foot and doing it manually. I'm just not sure how much I'm going to have left. I mean, it's just actually clicked down to 45 miles. So I'm going to turn it all off, save as much power as possible, do my bits that I need to do, then I'm going to get back on the road and we'll see how it goes. So hopefully I won't be calling the AA or whoever is going to look after me at this point when I run out of juice. So who does look after me? I'm not sure. So please put in the comments down below if you know what happens when you do run out of power in your electric car. Who is it that comes to save you? AA? RAC? Is it Honda Rescue? Or maybe, you know, if I'm in the Tesla, is it Tesla Rescue? I don't know. So please, if anybody knows, please let me know. And because that would be a very interesting one to follow and maybe contact them and make a video about. Because I'd like to know how a stranded EV actually gets home. So keep watching. Okay. Okay, so let's get out of here. We've got 45 miles showing, and we've got to get back. So let's see what happens once this fire engine comes past. Anyway, it's a nasty little junction. It's quite good to test the acceleration on the car here and see what's going on. And they're letting me out. That's really nice. Thank you. Okay, so let's get underway and see how we get along. Such a nice day. I wish it was like this all the time, but it's still cold, only 10 degrees. Another 10 degrees would be nice, so if it was 20, I'd be a very happy man, but it's not the case. But you can see this, this rear camera is working really, really well up here. Still learning this car, really. There's things that I just don't get yet. I don't understand why, up here, if you can see this, it's got a picture of a battery, but it doesn't appear to do anything. Now, obviously, my battery is at 46%, so on the dashboard it's showing it's halfway, and down here it's showing 45 miles. Here, it's not showing anything at all, it's just kind of there, and I'm wondering if it isn't a battery. This is obviously powered by the car, you don't charge it, it's just a bit strange. I'm not sure, I need to look it up and find out why it says that the whole time. But I'm hoping you guys can see okay, because there's a lot of sunlight outside and there may be some glare, but hopefully it is all working. So I'm going to go down this road, turn off onto the A21, which is the dual carriageway, and then we'll get this car set back up to 70 miles an hour again, and then up to the M25, around the M25, onto the A20, and then back up to where I live in southeast London. And then we'll see what's remaining. So we've got 44 miles. I'm taking it easy on the throttle, and I want cruise control on as soon as possible. I'm going to put regen brakes on, so they've just fired here, you can see regen, and then it's on its strongest. And this bar, I don't know if you can see this bar from your view, is the power meter. When I push on the power, it goes up. When I let it go, it goes green and down, and that then starts to charge and put energy back into the battery cells in the car, so it's effectively like an onboard charger, so it's utilising the engine's regenerative braking. So for all of you who don't know, regen brakes effectively mean you're not using the brake pedal, you're utilising the power from the motor. So when you let off the throttle, the motor then naturally doesn't want to stop instantly. So what you're doing is you've got a force, and it's then taking that force and it's converting it into electricity, and it's pushing it back out the opposite direction, back into the batteries. Okay, so let's see if we're safe, we're good to go. Okay, so let's get this up to 70 miles an hour. So we're on the A21. Okay, so cruise control is on. If I press resume, I think, sorry actually, yeah, resume or set. So this is the plus button here on the steering wheel. I'm going to press that. Okay, it's beeped at 70 miles an hour and the car has now taken over. And immediately it starts telling me off that I need to not go over white lines. I need to disable that, it's a little bit annoying. But I can see pretty clearly here, I can see what's going on behind me. I've got a BMW coming up behind me, I can see him in my rear view mirror, and I can see on the other side that there's a car in the distance. The mirrors work well. I found at night they get quite grainy because they're having to draw light in from other sources. Okay, let's let this guy out. The car's slowed down because it knows there's a car in front, and it's now taking pace at the BMW in front of me at 65 miles an hour. He's accelerating, so we're accelerating up to our 70. For a small car, I am amazed that this has got all these facilities on it, because you don't see this on most vehicles. I mean, if you buy a Golf or you buy a Polo, I don't think the Polo has this. I don't know if you can get it. Maybe you can, but you'd have to have really an automatic. I mean, a manual. I always find a manual with cruise control is a little bit weird, because obviously you go into top gear on a journey like this, and then obviously you're reliant on the torque of the engine to haul you up hills. It won't change gear for you, whereas an electric car, you don't have a gearbox, so it makes it much easier and simpler to actually use. So it works very well in this, and I understand why they've done it, because it's easy, because you're working with your batteries are linked to a controller, your controller is linked to the motor and to a charger, and then it's very easy to put optional extras onto it. I don't know if this car is going to have self-drive capability one day. I don't know if that will ever be. I mean, effectively, it's nothing more than programming, and the car has got self-steer to a point, because obviously it wants to keep me in lane, it tugs me back, and if I let go, the car effectively steers itself. It tells me off, but it will do it. It can effectively brake itself with regen braking, and that's effective and works. And then it's got the radar control as well. Obviously, it would never be like the Tesla with full driving capability, because it hasn't got all of the sensors. But there are cameras at the side, so you've got two cameras at the side, you've got one looking backwards, there's nothing facing forwards, you're reliant on your radar control system. But it's interesting to see how much will be added on in the future, if they will be doing additions, like they do on the Tesla, where suddenly you wake up in the morning and it's done an update, and it does something different. It's got a higher 0 to 60, or your brakes are more efficient, or whatever it might be. I suddenly got extra side cameras came up when I reversed, which beforehand it was just a big screen with my reversing camera. Now I can see to the left and the right of me. Just interesting, useful things. So who knows? Okay, so range check, we are on 40 miles. My dashboard is showing me a percentage of 41% and 40 miles in the centre. So I'm taking it easy, I'm letting the car do its thing. I am going to pull out because I'm never going to get back otherwise, and I want to do my 70 miles an hour. We're going downhill, so the car is obviously powering up to 70 miles an hour, and then I'm hopefully going to see a little bit of regen as I go down the hill. But I don't know if I will when it's on cruise control. Yeah, a tiny bit is coming on now, but very small amount. So still on 41%. Car is on cruise, doing exactly what I would want it to do. Air conditioning is switched off, so that isn't on. I mean, if I push it, it's going to be quite a shocker. Let me pull back over. I'll push the button and you can watch the range here drop. 38 miles, there we go. So I'm turning it off, so I'm at 40 miles. I don't think I should be using any more of the electricity that I don't need to. Okay, this guy's doing 53 miles now, we're on a 70, so I'm definitely pulling out again. Taxi driver. I always say on Sundays you get all the Sunday drivers. I want to see if he's got a hat on as well. No, just a face mask, so that's good. At least he's compliant with being a taxi driver. But I'm not that happy with the range that the car does. It's pretty diabolical. I don't think it's even. I mean, I've done now 3 charges. I've done 149 miles. It had a full charge when I picked it up, and the car was didn't use much power on the way back home. But it's not. It really isn't perfect. I'm going to get past these cars. This isn't good. I'm having to raise it 72. Got a car behind me, and everybody seems to be going slow in the inside lane. So I'm going to just get past this Nissan, and then I'm going to get pulled over and get it back down to 70 miles an hour again, because that really is the speed that most people would cruise at. Okay, let's get back over. Let's pull it back. There we go, 70 miles an hour. So the car will now decelerate from 72 to 70 miles an hour. There we go. And we'll have another check-in. So 33 miles showing in range, 35% on the dashboard. Nothing switched on. Just the sat-nav is working, but it's not actually talking, it's just in the background. I don't know if there's a way that I can turn these screens off, in fact, and make the screens go dark. I haven't found that yet, so maybe there is. If you know that, again, stick something in the comments for me, tell me how to turn the screens off. Does it actually save any energy? I feel like I'm really having to eke every last mile out of this car. So I've got about another 20, roughly 19, 20 miles to go, because I've had to take a slightly different route, and it's telling me 31 miles. I'm pretty cold inside the car, to tell you the truth. I've got a coat, I've got a jumper and a shirt, but I can feel it on my jeans. I can feel the cold air. Cruising at 69 miles an hour. I just don't want to run out of juice, so fingers crossed this doesn't go down quicker than it should. Okay, so it's dropped to 30 miles now, and 33%. So this is actually going down quite quickly. It's going down much quicker than I want it to. So we started, if you remember, on 46%. I've driven about 6 miles. I'm on 33% now. So if there's anybody that can tell me what I'm doing so wrong, why it's losing so much power so fast. I mean, it's gone down again, 32, I'm on 28 miles range now. This is, I think it's going to be quite a close call, if I'm honest. I want to see if this range will slow down suddenly, or will it go minus? Maybe it will do what a car does. I've seen a few cars do that, where they go into minus when I've been testing them, but electricity, I don't think so. I think it's really should be just stuck at what it should do. So, you know, we'll see what's happening. If I go into the EV menu, I don't know, you can see there, you can see on the screen, that's the charge going out of the battery, so you can see battery pack to the rear wheels, to the two motors, to the single motor, yeah, 26 miles. Fan is switched off, otherwise the current would be drawing upwards and that fan would be spinning. But I'm using 2.7 miles, yeah, 2.7 miles per kilowatt of energy, kilowatt hour of energy. Doing 67 miles an hour. Okay, so she's accelerating. I'm down to 29%, 26 miles of range. I should make it back, but we'll see. I mean, there's going to be some traffic ahead. I'm going to be stop-starting, which is going to use more power. And I've got a big hill coming up, so this goes all the way up and around. I'm now on the M25, so we'll see what it does and how much range I'm going to lose. I really want to hear from you other EV drivers, especially on the Honda E. What is your range? What are you getting out of it? Because I'm not giving this car a hard time. I'm not accelerating madly. I'm driving slower on the M25 than I've ever done. I always do 70 miles an hour, of course, but you know, I would normally nip past other cars and pull back in and set my cruise control. I'm not doing that. So I'd like to know what you guys are getting. How far do you go in your cars? Do you actually commute in them, and how far is your commute? I mean, do you worry that it's going to rain? Is it's going to get cold soon? I mean, maybe the battery's being affected by the cold air, but it's not cold enough yet. I mean, it was 6-7 degrees overnight. It felt cold outside. Obviously that isn't good for batteries when it's very cold, but we're not zero. We're not cold enough to really cause an issue. So it's interesting to know. The warmer months, I mean, obviously I'm going to pick up some extra mileage, but how much extra, I don't know. I mean, how much insulation is on this battery? I imagine a huge amount. It will be encased. I don't know if it's got a heater inside it. I don't know if it's warmed. I don't even know if these batteries are fed by liquid cooling, like on a Tesla. I don't know. They have a form of sort of glycol flowing through, and they can remove heat or they can put heat into the batteries. So when you're going to go and supercharge, and you find it on your sat nav, and you say you want to go into that supercharger, the batteries start to do something called preconditioning automatically, and that then prepares the batteries for receiving a large, fast charge. So it's interesting to know how this is going to act when it gets really cold. So maybe we'll have to do a range test in the cold, and then we'll have to do a range test in the heat and see what we get. But I think this is really the limit of what this car will do, what I've done today. I mean, yeah, sure, I could have put a little bit more power in, topped it off, but would it have made much difference? I sort of fall very quickly last time I did that. You top it up, and actually I had about, I think it was 99% yesterday. I did just a very small journey locally, which was only really 2-3 miles. I had the heating on, it was raining, I had the wipers on, headlights on, radio was working, sat-nav was working. I put the heated seats on in the 2 front seats, and I was 20% less when I came back after 4 or 5 miles. And okay, admittedly I was sitting in traffic, so it wasn't a quick 2-mile hop. It was a hop that probably took 20 minutes each direction. So I probably drove the car in reality for about 40 minutes. Then I parked the car up, I left it for an hour and a half, and I came back to it. So does it use power when it's parked up? It's got its alarm on, it's waiting for me to use the remote. There must be items that are actually taking power. It doesn't have the Sentry device like on a Tesla, so it's not videoing the whole time, which seems to take quite a lot of power. If you have that at home and you leave it on 24/7, it really takes a bit of juice. But I haven't got that on this car. So what is it doing? Why am I seeing big power fluctuations? Okay, we're on 20%, and the battery is showing 18 miles. I'm really sort of pushing this battery now. I hope I don't need it later. It's lucky I've got the Model 3 sitting on the driveway with over 80% in it. But I didn't charge this overnight. I didn't think I was going to need it. We're going to be exiting the M25 shortly and heading down onto the A20, and then we're on the home run, and that's about another 8 or 9 miles. I have to then go towards London and then turn off. And also, this lane change thing, when I get anywhere near the white line, it starts to tell me off. I was slightly further over to the right hand side, but let's see how far I can go. So I am not on the white line yet. I'm holding the steering wheel. If I let one hand off, it's come up here and it's telling me that, I don't know what that is, it's like a sliding sort of crash symbol. And I found out earlier, the home button resets it. 19%, 17 miles. It's boring talking to myself with no radio. I need to get some of my YouTube songs onto a dongle and get them plugged in, then I can have music in the car, and YouTube won't do me for it because I will own the rights to that music, but I haven't got that yet, so maybe that's an idea. So I can chunter away and have music in the background. I might just edit some on, might be easier. Okay, we're turning off the M25, 18%, 16 miles. Has got the one-touch control as well, so 1, 2, 3. So like on the German cars, it's a very sort of Germanic thing. Okay, so you're going to apply the foot brake a little bit, mentioned, I have no, there we go. So I didn't have my regen braking switched on at that point and it turned off. So regen's working, I'm going maximum charge back into the battery. I think if I put this up here, you can actually see what is happening. So you can see here, power going back in the battery. It's just gone blue because obviously I'm accelerating through the roundabout. Nice little Boxster there. It's an older car. Looks in nice condition. It's a bit of wallow on the drive when you go around. This is a good corner for testing. I mean, the turbo 911 would have stayed flat. Tesla rolls a little bit, not too bad, because it's got normal suspension, it's not active or anything like that. This car, you can feel the wallow on it. Okay, so we're at 17 miles range. You can see it just down here, and it's also down here. I've got 17%, the two seem to have balanced each other out, so 17% showing just down here on the dash. Okay, so let's take it out into the middle lane. And it's going a bit grey now. So a few clouds. And it's interesting as well, I've also got I can see the mesh for the heated front windscreen inside the windscreen. It's a bit like the old Fords used to be. I haven't seen that for a while. I haven't had a car with that on it. Okay, so let's resume cruise control again. There we go, beeps. 69 miles an hour. Wow, we're at 14 miles. Energy's really coming out of the battery because we're going up a hill. So no chance of any regen braking at all. I really want to know how you guys are finding these cars. I want to know the quirks, I want to know what I'm not doing, and I want to know how to get better range out of it. Going at normal speed limits, national speed limits, and other things I haven't switched on in the car that I should have switched on. I'm probably missing a lot of things, a lot of toys in this car. Okay, that's interesting. So the battery's gone 13 miles and it's just got an orange bar come up, and I've got a electricity fuel line has just come up on the screen. So that's quite interesting. My dial on the right hand side, my battery has now gone to 15%, and I've got a little sort of pump, electricity pump has flashed up as well. So it does warn you, it does tell you. I haven't had any beeps or anything off it yet. Down to 12 miles. I'm hoping this battery suddenly doesn't just sap off very quickly. I'm doing 69 miles an hour. Cruise control is still engaged. It's telling me to take the hand with the steering wheel with both hands, which I've just done. So I'm now at 165 miles from new. It's a good car. It goes well, but it's just this range. Okay, we're going to go down a bit of a hill and then we go up a hill. So let's see, is it going to go regen, these brakes? Very marginally, but it's not actually showing on the screen here at all. So I'm about to go up another hill, so we're going to take another hit on this battery. And then I'm going to start entering into traffic. 12 miles. I've got about, I reckon, 4 miles to go. 11 miles. It's going fast, goes down really quickly. Let's get into the inside lane. Still maintaining 69 miles an hour. Things I'm doing for you guys. When I run out, I'm going to be mad. I imagine it will cost me a fortune to get some electricity pumped back into this battery. I was going to get a cup of coffee, but I don't dare. I just want to get home and know this thing goes onto its charger. Okay, we're down to 10 miles. It's going down much faster than a mile, so for every 10, if it says 10 miles on here, it's not doing 10 miles in reality. Sorry, it's not doing, 10 miles here, it's not doing 10 miles, it's doing 9 miles. So I haven't done a mile since, let's time it, so I'm on 167 now, so 167 miles, that's on 10 miles. Okay, we're going to turn off. Still on 167. I'm slowing it down. It's telling me off because it can't find a white line in the road. It's a bit annoying. Please switch that off. It's annoying me. So if you know how to switch it off, please let me know. 9 miles. Okay. Yeah. So it's still 167 here. So we haven't done a mile yet, and it's gone down to 9. Okay, that's interesting. As soon as I touch the brake, the regen brakes appear to have turned off. Still haven't done that mile yet. Fuel lights flash back up again. Okay, 1 mile now, so it used it probably 3/4 of a mile. So for every mile I do in distance, it's giving me about just under, I would say, 3/4 of a mile on the battery pack. So it's I would say it's a quarter off. So it's probably excuse me, about 25 to 30% off the two figures, which is interesting. So if it shows me I have 100 miles or 110 miles, something like that, on the gauge, on the tank, I've probably got 30% less than that. So what I'm going to do is, we will get home. We're on 8 miles now. We are getting very low. I'm going to put her on charge when I get back. I'm going to let it charge all the way up to 100%, which will be, I believe, 99. It doesn't ever seem to go 100. When it gets to its 99%, then we can look at it again. We'll have another check of it, but that will be a separate video. Okay, so it's just clocked back to 8 miles range, and 9% is still showing on my screen here. I'm using regen brakes. I'm trying to get every single ounce of electricity out of it. It's like people don't look when they turn out of junctions. They get let out by somebody and they just head on out. It also tells you when you have another car in front and you've got the regen working. Okay, are we safe? Yeah. Kind of want to get rid of this electricity and make sure that we don't have anything left. I want to see what it does when it gets down to 0, but I don't want to be away from my home when it does that, because it could be catastrophic. Let me go. He is, I think. Thank you. Okay, so this is a good test of the turning circle. Let's see if I hit my wheels. No, look at that. Perfect. Wow, what a turning circle. That's awesome. Still on 9 miles. This is good. Turning into my road. Let's see how much we can get rid of by accelerating hard. Didn't get rid of it. Still on 9 miles. This car is such a town car. It likes being around town. It likes just doing 25 miles an hour. Very interesting. So we're 169 miles now, basically back. Okay, we'll just turn into the driveway. And I'm home. Okay guys, well thank you very much for watching. We ended up on 8% and the car's about to go on charge. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, click the like button, and I'm hoping this isn't going to be a really long video. I'm going to edit it down and chop and change it. But I really appreciate all the subscriptions and all the followers. So tune in for the next video. We'll do one on charging the Tesla, and we'll do one on charging this car, on how to schedule. And stay safe, drive safely, and enjoy your Honda E's. Take care. Bye.